Hi folks, it's just me, your friendly neighborhood Walter Shepherd. What time is it? It's like 2 o'clock in the morning. It was one of those nights where I fell asleep, and then 45 minutes later you wake up and you're fully awake. So I'm awake now, but I won't be talking too loud because the rest of the house is still asleep. Anyway, this particular video is in request to... I forget who requested it. But anyway, if you're watching this, you'll know that it was you that requested it. But a few years ago, I posted a video regarding how I believe Acts 2:17 is coming about. And Acts 2:17, in case you don't know, and you should know, Acts 2:17 is the verse that says... that in the last days, God is going to be pouring out His spirit of prophecy on all people. People will be getting visions, people will be dreaming dreams and whatnot. But the spirit of prophecy will be poured out on all nations, on all flesh, all people. Then it goes on to say, even on His servants. So that means believers as well as non-believers, and mostly non-believers will be getting bits and pieces of prophetic visions of the future. And if you go back in my past videos, you'll see those ones. And I've been talking about this whole thing all along too, about how I believe Hollywood has been doing one of two things. I believe the one-worlders are in control. That is the Illuminati and their particular agenda. They are making movies to help control and manipulate the minds of people, to condition them for the days to come. But I also believe that out of those visions, a lot of the stuff that Hollywood has produced, being in TV shows, movies, and even in pop culture in general, and we can even go so far back as to say literature. People like Jules Verne and H.G. Wells, and who's that other one? The guy who wrote 1984, Orson Welles? No, not Orson Welles. But anyway, George Orwell. I believe that the spirit of prophecy, once it started pouring out on people, everybody's been getting visions. And I believe the spirit of prophecy that has been poured out in the last days started after Jesus went to heaven and the Holy Spirit came down to earth and started becoming a part of people and started convicting people big time, convicting them of their sins and showing them the way to Jesus. So over the past 2,000 years, people have been getting visions of the future. And we see that in different cultures, too, around the world. There's a lot of different cultures that get these end times visions, but they can only interpret it based on the information they have. And they don't have the Bible, so they interpret it based on their own culture. And so you get people like the Incas and the Mayans talking about their end times prophecies, the Hopi people, the Hopi natives of North America, they have their end times prophecies, and the end times prophecies are all over the place, all over the planet, because God poured out His spirit of prophecy upon all flesh, upon all nations, upon all people. So everybody's been seeing bits and pieces of it here and there. Some people get more, some people get less. But I believe people like Jules Verne and H.G. Wells and George Orwell, they've seen a lot of the end times. They've seen a lot of the technology that we have now. And so they wrote it down in their various stories. And behold, we are now living in those days where those dreams of spaceships and those dreams of end times events have come about. 1984 is pretty much going to be what it's going to be like after the rapture, during the tribulation period, where information is being controlled by a small group of people, and the wars between nations are all made up, just like they are, just like they are now, and the powers that be, Big Brother, if you will, is controlling the flow of information and controlling people, and pretty soon everybody's going to be monitored, especially after the rapture. And so, when I got that request, I think it was about 2 months ago, 4 weeks ago, before summer began, I've been praying about it, and I've been collecting information, if you will, whenever I felt prompted to do so. I wrote down this kind of timeline for the end times now, and it goes all the way through the tribulation, all the way past Armageddon, and then over to the 1,000 years of peace. And as those inspirations came up, I wrote down the TV shows or the movies that I felt had prophetic visions inside them, be it visions from the Lord, the spirit of prophecy, or even, if you will, the one-worlders, the Illuminati, the Masons, whoever. They're putting together TV shows and movies that will help condition the people for what's to come, especially during the tribulation period, because that is the visions I've had of that. Again, I don't want to get into that, but they're pretty awful. So anyway, I will just go through these headings one at a time and list some of the TV shows and the movies that I believe have bits and pieces of future prophetic visions in them. And of course, we all start off with the Rapture, and of course the Left Behind series. And there have been a few other TV series and movies as well that have come out. Short-lived TV series. They didn't quite catch on. But TV series that talk about a number of people disappearing, or millions of people disappearing, and then the world having to deal with the aftermath of that. The Left Behind books, the Left Behind movies, they're a big contributor to a prophetic vision of the rapture. Even though personally I believe the Left Behind series of movies, especially the Hollywood movies, I believe if Hollywood has their finger on it, then of course the one-worlders are going to be controlling it. If you saw that last Left Behind movie with Nicolas Cage, you can see the Illuminati and the Mason fingerprints all over it. So that particular movie was controlled by the one-worlders, and it pretty much gave a false view of what I believe is going to be happening after the rapture. Because after the rapture, the world is not going to be the same. The world is not going to be like it is today, just with millions of people missing. It's going to be that's when the day of the Lord starts. So God's wrath will begin on the earth after the rapture. In which case, after the rapture, the world will not be like it is now. To start off with, there's going to be no electricity after the rapture. The world is going to be plunged into the Stone Age. No electricity, no communication for at least a month or so. And people are going to be looting and fighting and killing, and the one-worlders are going to be starting their depopulation program after the rapture. So there's going to be millions and millions of people dying for the first few months after the rapture. So it's not going to be like the movies at all, period, full stop. The day of the Lord, the tribulation period begins after the rapture, and again, the world will never be the same. But I will get on with this list. Okay, now for the tribulation period, I've noticed over the past couple of weeks there's a new TV series starting up next week, and it's called Aftermath. And so far, based on the previews that I've seen, it's got a fairly good depiction of what the life is going to be like, and what life is going to be like on planet Earth after the rapture during the tribulation period. From what I've seen, they're getting into people wandering about, trying to survive, but they're also getting into spirit beings, into demonic beings that will be running about too, because I believe after the rapture, the tribulation period, it'll be just like in the days of Noah. Not only will there be evil, wicked people running around, but there will also be demonic creatures, and there will be Nephilim running around. And there's a Japanese animated series called Titan Attacks, and they're coming out with a live-action movie of that too, and you can look up the previews for that as well. And on that particular series, they have these giant man-like creatures, evil creatures, who are flesh eaters. And from what I've understood and from what I've learned, the Nephilim are flesh eaters. The Nephilim will be one of the ones helping to depopulate the planet by chasing down all the people that are left behind and just devouring them, just eating them whole, just eating them live. So again, based on the visions that I've seen, the time after the rapture during the tribulation is going to be totally horrible. And I will give a little bit of hope here that for the rapture, I personally believe that the Lord is going to be taking not only his bride, the wise virgins, but he's also going to be taking the other flock. And you can check my past videos with the rapture numbers and those that are going to be taken. But to sum it up, the other flock are those people that God and Jesus and the Holy Spirit have deemed worthy of being taken up in the rapture. Enoch calls those people the righteous people. The book of Enoch talks about the rapture as well. I made a video about that. And Enoch talks about the elect being raptured as well as the righteous being raptured. And the elect would be the servants of the Lord, and the righteous would be those who have been consecrated and sanctified and deemed worthy by the Lord, who will be raptured. There'll be the starving people in the third world country. There'll be the mentally handicapped and the mentally challenged and the physically challenged. People who have been imprisoned by their bodies, who have no real free will of their own. People who have been wrongfully imprisoned. People who have had their freedom stolen from them, and they've been held captive. The children under the age of accountability will be raptured. And there'll be so many more people raptured other than just the bride. I believe the other flock will outnumber the main flock. However, the other flock, the righteous, the consecrated, they will not be getting the same rewards as the wise virgins, as the bride of Christ, because the bride of Christ has dedicated their lives and committed their lives to being a servant of the Lord, to spreading the Great Commission and to spreading the gospel, whereas the righteous, the other flock, God just had mercy on them, and so they'll be taken up. If you read the Bible from cover to cover, you will see that God divides mankind up into three basic groups: the wicked and the evil, his earthly servants, and the lost and the hurting. The wicked and the evil are going to be left behind. The servants are divided up into two groups: the wise virgins and the unwise virgins. The wise virgins will be taken up, and the unwise virgins will be left behind. And God will have mercy on the lost and the hurting. And so I believe that on the day of the rapture, there's going to be at least around 3 billion people. So half the planet will be taken. The Lord is going to have great mercy on a whole number of people, so that the only people left behind will be the wicked and the evil, basically the spoiled brats of humanity, all the God haters. They will be left behind, as well as the unwise virgins, those servants of the Lord that should have known better, that should be getting their relationship right with the Lord now, but they're spending their time being selfish, being not being wise virgins. They're not waiting for the Lord. They don't have their relationship with the Lord topped up. They're not in a good relationship with the Lord. They're just using and abusing the Bible. They're peddling the gospel and whatnot. So they're going to be left behind. So the only people left behind will be the spoiled brats of humanity, be they the wicked and the evil, or be they the unwise virgins. And everybody else will be taken. The Lord's going to have great mercy on the lost and the hurting, or the righteous, as Enoch calls them. So that means after the rapture, there's going to be around 3 billion or over 3 billion people that are going to be left behind. And that means that when the depopulation starts, it's going to be a horrible time for those people left behind. Because not only will they be depopulated by the Black Awakening, that is those sleeper soldiers that are being trained and conditioned right now. So after the rapture, their handlers are going to wake them up, and these sleeper agents, be they children or adults or young adults, they're going to be set on their mission. They're demon possessed people, and once they've been activated, they're going to be going on a killing spree, helping to depopulate the planet. Some will have specific targets out in the public arena to assassinate, but they'll just be killing people right and left, going on their killing sprees, and that'll help to depopulate the planet. And then martial law. Once the military police gain control of the streets, they're going to be depopulating the planet, or as many people as they can. Again, they want to bring down the global population to over 3 billion people to their 500 million that is on the Georgia Guidestones. So the first year of the tribulation period is going to be massive death and massive slaughtering, not only by human beings, but also by the demonic forces that are just going to go on killing sprees, and also by the Nephilim that are going to be chasing down the people. All these giants are going to be chasing down any human being that they can find and just eating them up. And it's just going to be, as the Bible said, the worst time in human history, never to before, or never to be equaled again. And the world before this will have never been as violent as it's going to be during the tribulation period. It's just going to be totally horrible. And so I believe that TV show that will be coming up, Aftermath, is going to be visions of the future of the tribulation period, as well as conditioning the people of what to expect. As you also get shows like all those zombie shows that are on now, and all the zombie movies. I don't believe there will be actual zombies during the tribulation period, but there will be people who are starving throughout the tribulation period, and those starving people will want to eat anything they can, and if it means eating people, they will eat people. And because a lot of these people will be starving to death, they won't have a lot of energy. They will practically be skin and bones, diseased or whatever. They will look like zombies without being actual brain dead zombies. And so the visions that are coming throughout all people, throughout Hollywood, are conditioning people of what to expect after the tribulation period. And before I get into this other list of movies, the 10 cities that the Antichrist are going to be building will be 10 world capitals that are located throughout the planet. One in South America, 2 in North America, 1 in Africa, maybe a couple in Africa, and the rest all over the place. So the people that are left after the rapture, those who accept the number of the beast and take the number into their hands or on their forehead, those number of people that accept the world system, they will be herded into any one of these 10 cities, wherever they are on the continent. So all the people that are outside the cities, in the abandoned towns and the abandoned cities, will be just like it is on these post-apocalyptic movies. They'll be wandering around from place to place looking for something to eat. Some will be starving to death, so they will be zombie-like. Some will just be groups of people trying to hide from the Nephilim, trying to hide from the demons, trying to hide from the one-worlders, trying to find some place to survive, going from town to town or from house to house, just looking for something to survive. That TV series, The Walking Dead, has been conditioning people to do that sort of thing. And so, so life during the tribulation is going to be really bad, really horrible for anyone left behind. And so during the tribulation period, we also get movies like Cloverfield and all those other movies that show gigantic creatures, gigantic, horrible creatures. The movies like Pacific Rim as well. They're conditioning people to accept and to get used to the Nephilim giants that are coming. Because not all these Nephilim giants are going to be human-like. Some are going to be hybrid creatures. Some are going to be really demonic creatures. Some are going to be really just awful looking, just horrible things. Just like the stuff that you see that you see in the movie that Hollywood has been conditioning people to expect. And then you get those asteroid movies. They've already conditioned people to accept asteroids. Movies like Deep Impact or Armageddon. Already, we're expecting asteroids to fall to begin the downward spiral that will lead to the rapture period. But during the tribulation period, there's going to be at least 2 asteroids that fall from the sky. One that's going to burn a third of the earth and one that's going to poison the waters. And I'm sure that there's going to be even more, because the Bible also talks about during the tribulation how the stars are going to be falling from the sky. So that could be asteroids, meteorites, or that could even be those man-made satellites losing their orbits. So somewhere the stars are going to be falling. During the tribulation period, the skies are always going to be falling with some sort of debris, falling with something. And so Hollywood has gotten people to accept that already. And then I also got into Pacific Rim, getting people used to the Nephilim. And then I've talked about The Walking Dead and movies like Blade Runner and Mad Max. Mad Max showing a post-apocalyptic society, people struggling to survive in small communities outside in a destroyed, deserted world, a decayed world. And then you also get movies like Blade Runner, that shows huge, massive cities where there's no daylight. Because after the rapture, I've talked about that in another video when I showed this particular thing. That's the rapture cloud coming down to take all the people up to heaven. But then the cloud itself stays. After the rapture, during the tribulation period, the earth is going to be one blackened cloud covering. So there won't be any daylight. They won't see any blue sky during the tribulation period, day or night. They won't see any stars. The Bible talks about the stars just disappearing. So during the tribulation period, there'll be one massive cloud covering where people won't see the light of day, just like in the movie Blade Runner. And also false creators, that is science and technology. Science considers themselves to be God or godlike because they can create life, or what they've labeled as life, that being artificial intelligence. Movies like AI or Bicentennial Man or even Star Trek's character Data, they've all talked about how they believe that when a robot comes to life, becomes sentient, it becomes another life form. So human beings can take credit for creating a life, even though it's a robotic life. And there's all sorts of other movies, too, that talk about that. Ex Machina, I think, was another one. And all these other movies that promote science as being able to create life or prolong human life. Again, that's just fallen mankind being influenced by the fallen angels to use science to consider themselves as being godlike. So they create robots and machines, and they say these things have life. And I believe towards the end, the image of the beast will be some sort of machine or some sort of computer generated, whether it's a 3D hologram or whether it's an actual robot or whether it's just a 2D flat screen with a interactive image of the Antichrist. That will be the beast that that will be the image of the beast that will talk to the people and that will guide the people. So it'll be some sort of artificial image of the actual Antichrist, the image of the beast that will help to control the people. And that will come about as a form of technology. Again, holograms, robot, computer-generated images. We have no idea at this point. But people have already been conditioned to accept that already, to accept that machines are a life form, thanks to Hollywood and TV. And then we also get movies like the First Contact movies, be it Star Trek or wherever, or all these other. There's more movies coming out where human beings are making first contact with aliens and stuff like that. And it's those movies like Close Encounters or E.T. Or even the Alien series or the Predator series. They're conditioning people to accept the fallen angels, to accept them as being friendly space aliens. So after the rapture, one of the things that I believe is going to be happening is that the Antichrist and the false prophet, along with Satan and any number of fallen angels, are going to be standing on the world stage talking to the people of the world, saying, it's these friendly aliens are the ones that did the rapture. They're going to be giving the credit of the rapture to the fallen angels, and they're going to be saying things like, it's the fallen angels that got rid of all those pesky Christians and got rid of all those people that are standing in the way of human evolution. And then they will turn on their Project Blue Beam hologram and show a fake rapture. And they'll say, see, there's the evidence. We're the ones who did it in the first place. There's no such thing as God. There was no such thing as Jesus. There's no such thing as the Holy Spirit. There's no such thing as Christians being raptured. It was merely the aliens getting rid of all those pesky Christians. So that'll be part of the grand deception, the great deception that's going to come about to everybody that's on the face of the planet. And so people have already been conditioned to accept space aliens as being friendly, helpful to human beings. And then also during the tribulation period, movies like Soylent Green and Cloud Atlas, they've already talked about that, about eating people or people becoming a food source. So a great many of the people, part of the depopulation, part of the internment camps, be they Christians in the internment camps or be they non-Christians in the internment camps, once those people are killed, their bodies are going to be recycled. During the tribulation period, there's not going to be much agriculture, so there's not going to be a great deal of food around. And so they're just going to be recycling the food source. They're going to be recycling people, like in the movie Soylent Green or like in Cloud Atlas that actually talked about people being recycled in the future. So human beings during the tribulation period, as part of the depopulation, they're going to be recycled. They're going to be turned into mush and fed to the people who have the number of the beast, to the people who are being who have been herded into those 10 cities. So cannibalism is going to become a normal part of life during the tribulation period. And for those people outside the cities as well. Again, these zombie-like people, whenever they come across another person, a person is a food source. So these starving people outside the city walls, they're going to be eating other people, just like zombies, just like cannibals. And the world has already been being conditioned to think about cannibalism. I've heard them joking about it in other TVs, in other TV shows and stuff like that. So cannibalism is being part of the conditioning. Okay, and I've talked about accepting machines as life form. Oh yes, and superhero movies. All these superhero movies. I believe it will be part of the number of the beast, part of the machines that man will be making. That they will say, oh yeah, if you accept this mark of the beast, if you accept machinery into your body, you will become a superhero. You will do things like superheroes can do. And I also believe that when a person accepts the number of the beast during the tribulation period, they will be possessed by a demon. And so when a demon possesses a human being, they can do things that regular human beings cannot do. I don't know if they'll be able to fly, but I believe they will have super strength. And thanks to Hollywood trickery, again, Hollywood can make it seem like if you accept this number of the beast, you will become a superhero. You will have superpowers. You can fly. You can do all these amazing things. So all these superhero movies are conditioning people to accept technology, to enhance themselves, to become super enhanced super beings, superheroes, superhumans. Okay, and I talked about the 10 cities. You get movies like Judge Dredd, and there are also other movies out there too that talk about mega cities or large cities that hold a population. Movies like The Maze Runner or Divergent. Those movies have been conditioning people, or even The Hunger Games. They've been conditioning people to think about moving into large mega cities rather than just small towns and things like that. So again, Hollywood is conditioning people to think about living in those 10 capital cities that the Bible talks about will happen during the tribulation period. And then the actual Armageddon. And I will end it off on this. I do go into a bit on the millennium, but I'll save that for a whole nother video because I can see this has already gone past half an hour. So thanks for sticking with me. So anyway, I will end this off on Armageddon, and you get movies like Independence Day 1 and 2, that have gotten people used to thinking about one big final battle. And that's going to be what's happening at the end of the tribulation period when Jesus comes back. If you noticed, on the very first Independence Day movie, whenever the human beings face an alien, they say things like, as soon as they look at it, one of their expressions is, "Holy God," and things like that. You will notice in Hollywood TV shows and movies, whenever they use the name Jesus Christ or God or oh God, it's always in a negative way, or they're always looking at something negative and saying the word Jesus Christ, because they want to mentally attach a negative thing to the name Jesus Christ. Or if there's some sort of evil alien, they will say something like Holy God, again attaching God to something really evil. That's the way Hollywood has been conditioning and brainwashing people. Or if they see something sexual or something sinful or something pleasing to the flesh, they will say something like, "Oh my God," using those words, "Oh my God." But again, it's part of Hollywood conditioning. So anyway, the Battle of Armageddon is when Jesus and his angelic servants and his earthly servants will come down and defeat Satan and the Antichrist and the beast and all the people there, to defeat all the wicked and evil people. And so Hollywood has been also conditioning people to fight against aliens. We have a lot of movies where we see where we see the army pointing their guns up at the sky, trying to destroy the aliens. And of course, mankind always wins in those movies, trying to condition the people for the final battle at Armageddon, where the people of the earth, at the end of the tribulation period at Armageddon, they're going to see Jesus and the angels coming down, but they won't see them as being holy. They will see them as being evil people coming to take over the planet, as evil aliens. And Hollywood has already conditioned people to fight against anything coming from the sky, except for the friendly aliens that will take credit for the rapture. So anyway, that's just a short list of some of the movies that I believe Hollywood has been using to condition people. And if you want to leave a list in the comment of any other movies that you can see that are helping to condition people to live during the tribulation, to accept the one world system during the tribulation, to fight against Armageddon, well, just go ahead and leave the list. But right now, everything that Hollywood has produced, ever since the movie Metropolis, that Fritz Lang movie, that was one of the very first movies that showed artificial intelligence, and it showed a one big mega city being controlled by an all-powerful group, and it showed working class slaves. And even in the evil laboratory of the professor that created that robot, you can see on the back wall, you can see the inverted pentagram, the satanic pentagram. So ever since the early birth of Hollywood, Satan has been using that to condition people to accept an ungodly lifestyle and to reject anything godly. And so I believe that wraps it up for this little spiel about Hollywood catching prophetic visions that come from the Holy Spirit, as well as Satan using Hollywood to condition people to accept life during the tribulation period, to accept the number of the beast, to accept technology into their bodies, to accept friendly aliens and to reject unfriendly aliens, to fight against unfriendly aliens, and to accept friendly aliens as being part of the whole evolution of mankind. Okay, and I think that's about it. So hang in there, people. The rapture's right around the corner. We still got to go through the transition period. Whatever global event is going to come about, it's going to wake up the eyes of the world, whether it be an asteroid, volcanoes, whether it be a global earthquake, or a combination of the both, or a fake third world war. Either way, something is going to happen that's going to affect the entire planet, and it'll bring the planet into chaos. And out of that chaos, there'll be martial law, and out of that martial law, the Antichrist will rise. And when the Antichrist rises, he will bring peace and safety to the world. And when the world is relaxing, saying, oh, peace and safety, that's when the rapture happens. That's when sudden destruction comes upon them, and that's when the day of the Lord starts. So hang in there, folks. Not that much longer until then. So keep doing what you're supposed to be doing. And I hope, as a believer, as a Christian, as a servant of Jesus Christ, I hope that you're not just sitting around waiting for the rapture. I hope you're doing your duty as a servant of the Lord, that you're helping people out there in the world, just being a good example of a Christian. Or I hope you're spreading the gospel, because that's what Jesus' servants are supposed to be doing, spreading the gospel, spreading the Great Commission, and we're just supposed to be sharing the love of Jesus out there in the world. So wherever you are, I hope you're sharing the Bible, I hope you're sharing the gospel, spreading the Great Commission, being a good servant of the Lord, and you're not just sitting around twiddling your thumbs waiting for the rapture. I hope you're being a useful servant out there. Otherwise, if you're not being a useful servant, the Lord is just going to say, I didn't know you, and you're going to be left behind, and you're going to have to prove your love to the Lord the hard way. So I hope you're doing your utmost to spread the gospel and to be God's hands and feet down here. or at the very least, I hope you're on your face and on your knees, and you're praying every day, hours a day, for the lost and the hurting. So that's it, a gentle rebuke for you believers out there. I hope you're not just sitting around watching YouTube videos, looking for the latest Rapture video, looking for a Tribulation video, that you're out there, that you're actually being a use to Jesus and to our Heavenly Father. And I think that's about it. Okay, so thanks. Thanks for sticking around. Thanks for listening. The end is almost here. We're at the beginning of the end. So Rapture will be here sooner rather than later. So take care. Stay in prayer. We will see you in Jesus' kingdom somewhere over there, or maybe even up in there. Alrighty, take care. Remember, Jesus rules.